made the head stamps. And the head stamps have the year on them. So 1937, 1939, some from during the war, some from during probably the Spanish Civil War. So just really cool stuff. And the other thing that intrigued me is that with Turkey was that many years ago, as they've evolved their designs, Beretta sold a bunch of their tooling to um, to Turkey and to the company Stoger. I mean, my 45s, my 357 Magnums, and things like that. Matter of fact, that's why, although you go to Cuba, those are actually just really old
Right.
cars with about a quarter inch of paint on them, right? So
Yeah.
that's been
All right.
brushed on
Talk
them.
to you later.
Hey, thanks, Ed. Yeah, Turkey's got a reputation for making some cool stuff, and I like, and I want to say I've seen them in rifles. was a little bit not up to par. But it's got a Chinese. Of the grips or the wood of the grips, all that kind of stuff. Some of their guns are, which is a 380. I think they make them in 9 also, but very nice design and actually attractive too. I'm at the point where I've got a lot of functional guns. Sometimes I go for, not only do I go for attractive, I go for ugly too. Okay, like the Mosin or the 1899 Nagant pistol. That's one I ought to get Tom to test. That's the one that's got the cylinder that moves forward to close the very reliable, of course. But once you get those, then you start going, whoa, this is kind of cool. I wouldn't mind having one of those. And that's why I've got some of the
Oh my god.
It's probably way loud. Okay, hang on. Bear with me. I'm going to go ahead and talk into this. Hello, mic check. 1, 2. Check, check. Okay, mic check. 1, 2. Check, check, check. 1, 2. Hello, hello. Do you want me to tell me what to do, Patrick? Okay, here we go. Hello, mic check. 1, 2. Check, check, check. 1, 2. Check, check, check. So it's too quiet. Mic check 1 2 check 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 1 2 check 1 2. Do you have yours on you? Okay, good. All right, mic check 1 2. Oh, hello, 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 Banna, Banna, Banna. 1 2 check 1 2 check check check. Hello, hello. All right. How about this other one? Here we go. Hello, hello, hello. Check 1 2 check check check. Whoa, hello. Whoa, why is that so loud? Hello. 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 Check 1 2. Okay, hang on. I'm going to redo this. Here we go. Tell me when. 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 8 9 10 11 12 13 14 15 16 17 18 19. Okay. Let's do the next one. Here we go. 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 8 9 10 11 12 13 14 15 16 17 18 19 20. Right there? Okay. Okay, but as long as you got a good amount of audio there, and then we can adjust it from there. You know what I mean? Okay. Alright, sounds good. Okay, I think we're good. Now, are we getting that weird radio frequency anymore?
Well, up until the middle of
It's off.
He was been a collector for many, many years, and he was getting rid of some of his firearms.
Oh wow! What was
We're picking up some radio broadcasts somehow in our mics from here.
what's the sound like?
It's talking about like farming and Halloween and
We got Fox Sports on upstairs, but it's a Comrex unit. It would be on the Wi-Fi or cell, so we're right up above you too.
right.
Hello. Excuse the interruption. So, I'm in need of a favor. Sideline huddle, full deal.
from Jackson, Chuck Walters. Ladies and gentlemen, if at any time an emergency arises in Hornet Stadium, please pay attention to the public address announcer as they guide you through the actions to take. At this time, please note the exit nearest to you. Thank you. Please also remember that you are on public school property and there is not only no smoking, but no tobacco of any kind allowed within Hornet Stadium. We thank you for your cooperation in keeping Saline tobacco-free.
That's going to be the team that's...
stadium for today's Michigan High School Athletic Association pre-district football game between the Kalamazoo Central Maroons. And now let's meet today's starting lineups. First, the defensive starters for the visiting Kalamazoo Maroon Giants. Start at number 1, Phelan Goodwin. At defensive back, number 3, Roy Whitworth. Number 6, at defensive back, Hilario De La Paz. Number 19, defensive back, Zontario Wheatley. Number 30, at linebacker, Jordan Harvey. Number 32, at linebacker, Marcus Wright. Number 35, at linebacker, Xavier Davis. Number 37, defensive lineman, Levi Walker. Number 58, at linebacker, Mohamed Kamara. And number 75, defensive line, McKinley Underwood. And number 82, defensive end, Devon Dobbins. The Giants are led by head coach Carlton Brewster. And now, here are your Saline Hornets. And today's offensive starters for Saline, starting at tackle, number 77, Lance Blazak. And at guard, number 71, Carter St. Lawrence. And at center, number 58, Chase Hartley. And starting at guard, number 55, Noah Ebbs. Starting at tackle, number 50, Kyler Blake Jones. Starting at tight end, number 8, Grant Sitterly. And at wide receiver, number 3, Lucas Ebert. And at the other wide receiver, number 5, Trevor Arrigo. And at wide receiver, number 1, Colton Levensack. Starting at running back for Saline, number 26, Brendan Monday. And at quarterback for your Hornets, number 9, Andrew Arbaugh. Our head coach, now in the 7th season, Joe Coca. Ladies and gentlemen, the privilege of this game was made made possible by those who have fought and continue to fight for the freedoms we enjoy. Let us now honor and respect their efforts and our country. Civilian gentlemen, please remove your hats. Active and retired military, we encourage you to render the appropriate salute. And everyone who is able, please stand for our national anthem.
Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. We are approaching 1 o'clock here at Hornet Stadium, and the Saline Hornets in this pre-district playoff will be looking to defeat the Kalamazoo Central Maroon Giants, the 6-3 Maroon Giants coming from the west side of the state with wins against Portage Central, Lakeview, Central, Lakeshore, and Gull Lake. It's the first time they've been in the playoffs since 2004. Saline has become a regular in the MHSAA playoffs, and thanks to some, whether you're going to call it lucky scheduling or something else, the Hornets actually got the 1 seed. They were projected to have the 2 seed while Belleville had the 1 seed, so they will be hosting, and they are, there was a video surfacing on the Saline Post of a bunch of their players screaming that we're going west, and they drew a bunch of west teams. East Kentwood also in the Hornets bracket, as is Brighton, and the winner of that later today, as well as the winner of this game, will decide next week's district final rematch. Saline won the toss, and Turner's going to kick it off to the Hornets as the Hornets defer until the second half. And the Maroon Giants playing at 1 o'clock here. Folks, the last time Saline played on a Saturday was that 2014 state championship game at Glens Clarkston. We're going to be looking for a different outcome here today.
And this is Mitch Gashi, and welcome you all to come out. It's a little overcast and spitting a little bit, but it's still a beautiful day for football. Come on out, support your team. It's nothing better than high school playoff football. The SEC fared fairly well early on, Nathan, in the games yesterday. So most of the SEC were victorious, just a couple of losses. So let's see if Saline can continue that today.
Bedford won, Chelsea won. I'm trying to think who else.
Monroe
won. Monroe destroyed Brownstown Woodhaven 62-28. And that kick is going to go, good kick there by Turner, back of the end zone, and they will start at their 20-yard line. Saline going with the usual starting defensive foursome of Adonis Gamo, Zach Sabin, Brad Wisniewski, and Jonah Ashby. Alex Morrison's going to be back there at linebacker, as is Connor Tarrick. Harrison Hill and Monty Green also getting the start there. Noah Nelson at corner. And it looks like Kyle Greenwood, number 13, is going to be at safety. Maroon Giants, folks, went 6-3, squeaked into the playoffs. They won 3 out of their last 4 games to make it to the playoffs. Losses coming against Niles, 18-13, Flint Powers Catholic, 14-12, and Metawan, 31-3.
Feeling good when the quarterback takes the snap, throws it out in the flat, picks up maybe a yard or 2.
I'll tell you what, Saline coming off the bus, and this is something Joe Polka has said that they may not pass like the eye test, but one thing you really notice about this linebacking core, especially with Morrison and especially with Tarrant, they run sideline to sideline very well. I mean, they get down the sideline quite well, and they are athletes, folks. And
Morrison made that tackle on that play, and he clearly got out there.
He did. They were trying to hit the edge, trying to get something going, and weren't able to successfully. So, folks, if Saline is able to emerge victorious here today, they will host again next week. So come out to that game. They got the 1 seed in their bracket with 102 playoff points as a result of that resounding Week 9 win against Grand Blanc, 31-7 at Grand Blanc. Grand Blanc was a playoff team, so the Hornets end their year with wins against 4 playoff teams. Saline now down in the 3-point stances. And the snap.
Hand off to number 10.
Dominique Wellbaum, and that was going nowhere, folks. That was
Jadakiss Lewis.
Third and long already for the Maroon Giants. Good job there by Adonis Gammo and Brad Wisniewski to get in. Looks like we're going to have a substitution here from the Maroon Giants. Maroon Giants traveling from Kalamazoo. Folks, some of you might be wondering why the game was on Saturday afternoon instead of Friday night. Both schools were unable to come to an agreement, and in the case, the MHSAA has passed a rule. The MHSAA has passed a rule where if it's a 75-mile or more distance, as Wisniewski powers in there for the sack, that would look like a missed assignment because he went in there unblocked. And they're going to be forced to punt here early. Saline and Malinzak deep there. You wonder how often they're going to give the ball to Griffin here. Griffin definitely going to be a difference maker. Didn't have to move around all that much on that first drive. And he's going to be really important for them, him and Claude Mega, because the farther they get deep into the playoffs, they're going to play more athletic teams, especially East Kentwood, who's got 2 Michigan State commits. Almost blocked there by Hayden Smith, Malinzak. And Lucky caught it, and it's going to be down at the Hornets plus side of the field there. Kalamazoo punts it, and Saline's going to get the ball at Kalamazoo's 49-yard line.
So that was a good defensive start here for Saline. That's what you're looking at. Actually, Kalamazoo, I think, is trying to find their way. They're a little tentative. Like you said, they haven't been in playoffs in forever. So they don't have the confidence that a Saline team who's been in the playoffs the last 7 consecutive seasons might carry with them today.
And it doesn't help that you have to travel as far as they did either, and they had flat out, they did. Losing to Niles, who's 3-6, folks, it didn't do them any favor. So they're definitely Arbaugh, and they start off from the end right to Griffin. Boy, that is a heck of a pass there by Andrew Arbaugh. We saw him throw 3 interceptions in that SEC Red winner take-all game against Monroe, which the Hornets won 28-6. And that's a phenomenal throw there. We saw him. He was really lobbing a lot of the balls. And that Monroe game had a lot of similar conditions to this game, kind of cold, misty, a little bit windy, and does a good job right there throwing right out of the gun. So, and those are the passes he's going to have to make.
And Monday on the carry, cuts it up inside, gets
near
down.
A first down. It looks like it's going to be about a 9-yard gain for the Hornets. So 2 solid games there. But those are the throws that Arbaugh's going to have to make because when you play East Kentwood, it's going to be hard to run between the tackles. They have so much size, so they're going to have to get it out on the perimeter, and it's going to be up to him to make some of these strong throws. We saw that Saline Cass Tech game when Saline went to States in 2014. That was a cold and snowy
Monday
game.
on the carry and carries it down almost to the goal line. Tackled at about the 3, where it'll be first and goal to go Saline at the 3-yard line.
It was a cold and snowy game at Troy Athens, and Saline was able to put 31 points on the board. And the clock's going to roll here, and Saline looking for the quick early advantage. And they get the ball first in the second half. So far, the strategy paying dividends.
And he walks untouched in the end.
6-0 Saline. Boy, hard to imagine more of a dominant opening drive right there for the Hornets. 3 minutes into the game, folks. And Saline goes ahead 6-0 here early. Great pass there by Arbaugh, set it up, and Griffin doing what his athletes do. Arbaugh doing a good job throwing it over the outstretched arm of that Kalamazoo defender, and Turner's going to be on for the extra point, trying to give Saline the 7-0 early advantage here. Good run blocking for Saline. Good everything. He had plenty of time to throw it, and Turner does bang it through. The ball goes out into the parking lot, and Saline is up 7-0 here, and it's going to be that Saline defense again. Hopefully he's going to be able to force another 3 and out. Saline got really good field position. They're at the Maroon Giants side of the field. They had it at Kalamazoo's 49-yard line. So it's a lot easier to score, especially when you have Turner. It's a lot easier to score when you're only having to march 20, 30 yards instead of 50, 60.
Exactly. One thing wild card might be today. We know what our special teams is capable of. We've seen in some of our prior opponents, including playoff opponents, that their special teams are not on par with the rest of their squad. However, I will say Kalamazoo Central's punt was a nice punt. So, but special teams may play a factor, because if we can keep Kalamazoo deep in their own end to start, that'll help tremendously.
It will. It will. And you wonder, I mean, this is a team that they're relatively new to the playoffs, and you wonder if they're going to start pressing and start making mistakes if they get down too far here early. They're already down 7-0. They know that Saline gets the ball first at the second half. You know, the Hornets are experienced in the playoffs, and, you know, they're almost at that danger zone. They can't take another sack like they did with Wisniewski, because you don't want your punter punting from the shadow of his own goal line.
I will tell you that Kalamazoo Central seems to be fairly disciplined, because unlike some of the other teams, Saline is trying to bait them into returning these kicks, and Kalamazoo Central's not going for it. They understand what their limitations are, is my guess, and so they'll take it at the 20-yard line every time, as opposed to risking getting pinned deep.
Well, and that's one of those games, too, and I think they do realize that they're probably out-athleted a little bit if Saline's able to hold on here and they play either Brighton or East Kentwood. I would be very surprised if you don't see them return the case, because especially East Kentwood, I mean, they got some kids who can fly.
Right.
So, you know, they might take it 3-4 yards deep in the end zone like you see Donovan Peoples-Jones do sometimes, but it's just turning on the afterburners and, you know, trusting that your athleticism is going to be able to get you good field position. 2nd and 7 there after the quick pass out to the flat there.
Green and Griffin on the tackle.
Tell you what, Monty Green is going to be a big player for the Hornets next year. You're looking, obviously at this time, you know, you're starting to look at Saline. They have a lot of seniors on both sides of the ball. But one thing, and they fake it. Good fake there, but Saline with a good group tackle there. Little fake the handoff there. And
Harrison Hill and Connor Terrick led a host of Saline tacklers on that play.
Well, that's one encouraging thing. Even though they do get the first down, you see 4 Saline Hornets in the area of the quarterback. And that's one thing that they've done better than I believe they've done better in years past, is they have gang tackled really good. They're sending 11 hands to the ball every single play, and that's really going to pay dividends for them, because when you play a lot of these really good running backs and halfbacks, it can be hard to bring them down. You know, you're going to have a hard time arm tackling them. And that does give them the first down. Thought the first down was the last play, but it's going to barrel ahead forward.
Again, that was Morrison and Green in on the tackle there.
But, folks, you know, Saline does have 3 defensive line seniors. Saban will be returning next year. Green will be. You know, you're wondering how they're going to replace MJ Griffin. Noah Nelson returning for his senior year. But what's kind of interesting is this year it was questions about the offensive line because they lost all 5 starters. Next year they're going to be returning 3 starters: Carter St. Lawrence, Lance Blazak, and Kyler Blake Jones, who's only a sophomore, Blazak a junior, and St. Lawrence a junior. And then they have Evan Schultz, number 54, who we saw earlier in the year rotating in quite a lot. He's a sophomore, so he's going to be rotating in as well. So you can assume that he might get one of the other guard spots. So they're going to have 4 offensive linemen with legitimate playing experience, and that's going to be really good for them.
On that last play, it was intended for Kayvon Ford, incomplete, guarded by Connor Terrick. Again, handoff. Met right in the backfield by Connor Terrick and cleaned up by
I think that was Andy Clark or Brad Wisniewski, number 94.
94. Yeah. Connor Terrick met him, and then Wisniewski helped him out on it.
Yeah, Terrick was unblocked right there. You know, and that's the other thing, too, is they're going to be content to run it. You know, it's going to be really hard for them to punch it in, you know, as much as they are. It's hard to run on this Hornets defense, you know, up and down the sidelines. It just is. I mean, you might get 1-2 first downs. Saw that against Monroe. Monroe had some runs, but it always fizzled out at the wrong time. You know, and you're always opening up yourself up to mistakes if you don't have that quick, you know, attack sort of whatever to your offensive arsenal. They're looking at Gammo.
And he is.
With the sack. Yeah, boy, he dropped back there, and Saline was right on it. And Kalamazoo is going to be forced, I'm assuming, to punt again here. Now they will send out the punt unit, and with 6 minutes to go here, halfway through the first quarter, Saline going to be looking to extend their lead until double digits.
It looks like Catholic Central's missing some of their assignments because Gammo, again,
went on
untouched.
Yeah, well, Well, and that's the thing with Saline. They move around a lot before the ball, before the pre-snap, and they just do such a good job. They do a good job disguising coverages, disguising different alignments, and it's really hard if you're an undisciplined team, and it's blocked. Hayden Scott falls. Oh, and the ball rolls in the back of the end zone, and that's going to be a safety, I believe. It's a touchback.
Touchback. He's ruling it. So.
And that huge first Saline. And it's going to be a touchback for the Hornets.
Well, that
it should be a safety.
It should be a safety, yeah. But he ruled the touchback, but it can't be a touchback because they can't bring it out to the 20.
I'm confused. Yeah, normally when it goes through the back of the end zone, that is a safety.
Yeah,
and they're discussing it. I think Polka is going to be, and they're going over it now. Polka is standing on the sideline. I don't know how it can be a touchback. And if it's a safety, folks, when Saline gets 2 points and the ball. And I don't know what the big discussion is here. We'll wait for further clarification. And I mean, we can't hear the call, but I don't know why it goes out of the back of the end zone. Smith not able to successfully fall on it. But I can't imagine. I don't know what. We'll see.
Yep. But either way, Saline should be getting the ball and in excellent position to put some more points on the board.
Safety.
Yeah.
There is no signal. Now they're going to, I don't know what the call is.
They're explaining it to both coaches, but
I wonder if this is just an example of them overthinking. I don't know. You see the judge pleading with Polka, and Polka wanting further clarification. And now we're going back to now they're going to go back to conferencing again.
As we have stated a few times this season, again, these high school officials, some of them are fairly new, but this is a good learning ground for them, and hopefully they can step up. But, we'd rather them get it right than take the time.
We do, but I think this is an example of them overthinking. I mean, I don't necessarily know what the argument is here.
Yeah, well, that's the only other thing that they could be indicating. Did Hayden Scott possess it and then fumble it? So
and we're waiting for the call here, and it is a safety. Saline's going to be awarded 2 points, and they will get the ball back as well. And I believe I'm not sure on the high school rules, but I think the kicker has to drop kick it. I don't think they're allowed to kick it from a tee. And folks, that is what a job there by Hayden Scott to get in there, block it. And you want to talk about missed assignments. I mean, he went there untouched, and that's been a common thread here so far. Now the officials trying to figure out what side of the field should be on.
Well, what caused part of the confusion was that he ruled it as a touchback. And so as on a touchback, it would have come out at the 20, and that's, they just got confused on the play.
They do. They did. Yeah.
So I think the high school rules allow you to elect, and that's what he's got a tee out there, so he can kick it from a tee.
Back to return for Saline, number 22, Joel Omega, and number 2, MJ Griffin.
So the Catholic Central or Kalamazoo Central will be kicking off from their own 20-yard line. Then we'll get our first chance to see how they do on the special teams for kickoff. So this will be interesting.
It will be very interesting, and it's a solid kick. Going to be Clemenga's going to get it at the 35-yard line. He's at midfield, and he's got a hole.
And he's gone.
And he is gone. Oh, there's a flag. Oh, that is a late flag, folks. They threw it 10 yards behind for Claude Mega, and should be coming back, but regardless, Saline will still be getting good field position at their side. But that's the explosiveness you're talking about. You have Claude Mega and you have Griffin, and it's so hard to stop both of them. And he had a huge seam. Yeah. He had a huge seam, and I don't know. I can only imagine the flag's going to be an illegal block in the back.
That is not what he signaled, but I
don't know what that
was. I haven't seen that signal before.
Should be a 10-yard penalty from the spot of the foul.
Brighton takes an early lead on East Kentwood.
And Brighton is taking an early lead on East Kentwood, so
Saline's going to get it at the 45, and I still have no earthly idea what the penalty was.
they haven't marked it off just yet.
Saline's going to get it at the 46-yard line. They're on 46.
It's a 15-yard penalty, whatever it was. Yeah, 48, their own 48.
It's like an illegal hit. I know that one of them came in and knocked one of the East Kentwood guys pretty good, but you didn't see the personal foul signal, so not sure what the penalty is, but regardless, Saline's going to take over at their 46. Arbaugh to Griffin. Good block out there by Arico. Griffin at the 40-yard line, 30-yard line, down at the 26.
Yeah.
Good, but that's a heck of a block there by Arico, sealing his man off.
And Lucas Ebert. They both made nice blocks on that play, and then Griffin did the rest.
And that's one of Saline's staple plays this year. That is you just got to trust your receivers to get out there and block, and then you have Griffin doing what Griffin does, one-on-one.
Hand off to Monday, cuts it up inside, carries it down to the 20-yard line, pick up about 4.5.
And that's a solid gain. Falls forward for another 4.5, and Saline doing a good job, kind of doing whatever they want, controlling the tempo of the game. And they've been able to pretty much do whatever they want. Kalamazoo Central, and they're undersized on the interior. They got a 160-pound kid, number 37, who just jumped off sides. Number 37 for them is Levi Walker, a 5'5", 170-pound kid who's on the interior there. So he's going up against some Saline linemen who are bigger than him. I mean, Hartley and Ayers aren't tall. They're about 5'10", 5'9", but it's all muscle. I mean, they're every bit at 225, 230.
This is good for Kalamazoo Central. Get them in the playoffs. Maybe they can build something off of it. Monday carries. It looks like he picked up the first down inside the 15 to almost the 14-yard line.
And they are going to give it to him. A little bit of an interesting call there. They were having some success running it right down the middle. A little surprised to see them bounce it to the outside, but good job by Monday there. There wasn't a lot for him to take. Taking what he can get, the senior leader for the Hornets falls forward, and the Hornets get a fresh set of downs.
Well, I think you're going to see Saline try a lot of things today and hopefully get a lot of players in. Monday again carries it up the middle.
And it's going to be about a 3-yard, second and 7, second and 6 here from about the 10, 11, just outside the 10-yard line. The Hornets marching in the red zone again, and now you're seeing Klonmega and Griffin. And that's the Hornets' dangerous package, and I think Griffin's going to go in Wildcat here. They've done that with him. And because Arbaugh is running toward the sideline here, and they're going to have Monday is a blocking back, and they have Klonmega split out to Griffin's left side, Klonmega in motion. And
hand off to Klonmega. He cuts it up inside and is met by a host of Kalamazoo Central tacklers and lost about 3 yards on the play, so it'll now bring up 3rd and 10.
And if you're Saline, you want to make sure, if nothing else, you don't want to lose any more yards here. You want to give Turner a shot to make it here.
Now, one of the things you see warming up on the sidelines, they also have their freshman kicker, Antle, warming up on the sidelines. Griffin keeps it on the Wildcat.
And he is short but I believe Saline's probably just going to send out the PAT unit, and they are. And that's the one good thing is you have Turner, and this is well within his field goal range, well within it. Not saying he will make it, but he has the leg to get it there. And if Saline's able to get it in here, then they take themselves out to a 12-0 lead, and we're not even out of the first quarter. However, even if they don't get it, Kalamazoo's not really shown an ability to march the field that well, and they'll be, pinned back well inside their own territory again. Snap from Ayers is good. Turner, and I believe he got it. There's an offsides, though, and it's going to be a first down. But nice to see Turner drill it.
Be short, but I think Saline will take the 3 points probably and then assess it on the kickoff.
I would do that as well. It's going to be offsides. Penalty is going to be declined by the Hornets, and Turner does a good job right there. Saline doing a good job, and see, that's what field position does. They didn't have as much success that first drive, but they were able to get the 2 points on the safety, and then, they're already at midfield when they're starting. They're able to punch it in for 3 more points. And now Kalamazoo Central finds themselves in a 12-0 early a hole here, and they're not even out of the first quarter. Still 3 minutes to go here in the first quarter. And, folks, we have gotten word that Brighton's out to an early lead over East Kentwood. Not sure how that game is going to end. But one thing I will let you guys know is that if Brighton does beat East Kentwood, the game will most likely be here on Friday night. once again, the game will probably be here on Friday night. Brighton not nearly as far from Saline as East Kentwood is. They're within that 75-mile radius, and I can guarantee you Saline's going to want to play on Friday. Because if it's 75 miles or less, the host team like Saline.
It's actually East Kentwood's now tied it up at 7-7 with 5 minutes left to go in the first quarter.
And I don't know what Polka's going in, and I don't know what they're discussing now. Now everybody's running around.
Apparently they're going to go for it now. They're going to take the 3 points off the board and
Offside on defense is automatically a dead play, so they have to re-kick it.
oh, they have to re-kick it. It's an automatic dead play on an offside, so they have to attempt a field goal again. So
I don't. And I think they're going to maybe they're going to try and draw them off sides. They might try to hard count them. See Polka yelling at Malinzak to get out on the field. You know. It's going to be 4th and 4 here. You got Arbaugh, 4th and 4, 4th and 5.
this is where the loss of Brendan Murphy, who's not here today, might play a factor.
And they're trying to draw them off sides. You wonder if they're just going to try and hard count them and then call a timeout. That'd be my.
Well, there's only 1 second left on the play clock, so.
And they are going to call. They went in there to just try and draw them off sides. Smart play there. And you're going to have Turner, who easily made that field goal the first time, going to come out once again to give the Hornets hopefully a 12-0 lead once again. You just never know. You see that in the NFL and college all the times where a kicker will make it or they'll miss it and then there'll be some penalty, and it normally goes the other way around. Hopefully that's not the case here for the Hornets.
Exactly.
However, folks, going back to that 75-mile or less rule, if the MHSAA has made a rule that if it's 75 miles or less, the host team, Saline, is allowed to dictate when the visiting team has to play, whether it be Friday or Saturday. If it's 75 miles or more, then it's on the schools to reach an agreement. And if they can't reach an agreement, like they did in the case of Kalamazoo Central and Saline, then the MHSAA will step in and decide whether they play on Friday night. But most of the time, it's either Saturday at 1 or Saturday at 7:30. That's why we are here today.
So Turner attempt to kick again.
High snap. Good job by Arbaugh to bring it down. And Turner, no problem getting it through. And Saline, once again, it's going to be out to a 12-0 lead here. Good job by Arbaugh. A little bit of a high snap there. Does a good job ripping it down.
Well, it looked like Noah Ayers was hit on that. And as we are aware of, they've changed the rules regarding the long snapper protection. And you don't see it very often, but it actually happened in the Michigan game.
Cameron Cheeseman, that 15-yard penalty gave him an automatic first down, and that was kind of the turning point in the game there.
And it looks like Noah Ayers is a little upset about that, but sometimes the refs just don't catch those type of things.
Yeah, bottom line, though, you're up 12-0. You're at home. Still 2 minutes to go in the first half, and you get the ball first in the second half. Yeah. Plenty to be happy about if you're a Hornets fan here, at least so far.
Exactly.
And this is a good lesson for them. They're going to have to maintain their composure, because maybe not today, but next week and the week after, and if they get to where they want to go, which is the state finals, they're going to be facing some adversity. They're not going to be able to beat East Kentwood and Lapeer and all these really good teams by 30 points. It's going to come right down to the wire like the Chippewa Valley game did. It's going to be very, very, very close. And they really haven't had a lot of games this year, other than that Chippewa game where the game was really in question.
And even in that game, they went out a big early lead, and then they just had
they kind of fizzled out. Yeah. But that was a good. Other than that, in the Grand Rapids game, there really hasn't. They dispatched AFC Lincoln. They crushed all the Ann Arbor schools. Bedford, they were ahead. The vast majority of that game, and then Bedford came storming back. They won that 31-26
against our second team.
Exactly. And then,
but as we saw with Bedford racking up 62 points. Yesterday, they're not a bad football team.
They're not a bad football team, and they've gotten better,
Quarterback
I believe.
Keeps it.
And that's not doing anything. Wisniewski and Saline doing a good job. They're doing a good job staying disciplined, because a lot of times you'll have inexperienced defensive ends who are just going to fall the running back, and they're just going to crash down on the line. And that's where they're running the zone read, and that's where their quarterback can just run it for 30, 40 yards, because if you have the entire defensive momentum flowing the opposite way, he's going to have a free lane to the end zone. But Saline doing a really good job there, setting the edge, staying disciplined, and not allowing their QB to break free for anything right there. And
Goodwin takes it, hands it off, first big play for Kalamazoo to number 10.
Looks like
Atticus Lewis.
Looks like Kyle Greenwood was right there, and it's going to bring down about third and a yard and a half.
See, we had expected Jacob Lyle to be the starting quarterback, and Goodwin is actually starting too. So I wonder if that's causing
any confusion. Yeah. I think it's just a majority. I think it's a host of things. And the handoff to Goodwin, and I don't think he got it.
Again, it's a handoff to Lewis where the ref's marking it, though. It's
I
over
think
the
they're going to give
30-yard
him.
line.
Yeah,
so.
boy, that's close.
Yeah.
They are going to give it to him. It was that initial effort because he definitely got pushed back. If he'd got it, it wasn't by much, folks, and we are 1 minute away from the conclusion of the first quarter here. You know, and they're not in any particular hurry either. There's not a lot of up-tempo anything from the Maroon Giants. Phelan Goodwin starting at quarterback. We did expect Jacob Lyle, number 2, for the Maroon Giants to be starting at quarterback.
Pitch to number 3, and he's met behind the line of scrimmage.
That's a heck of a play. That's Alex Morrison. Boy, he sniffed that out. And you wonder, with them playing on Saturday, that's an extra day of preparation that they had. You know, they got into the film room on Saturday morning after they beat Grand Blanc, and you know, they started scouting different teams. I don't know how much they scouted Kalamazoo because I think everybody was surprised that they drew that. You know, we were expecting Belleville, we were expecting Monroe, we were expecting Woodhaven because the MHSAA has been on the record saying they do these regions by geography. And that's why, you know, Saline fans weren't happy last year. They had 102 playoff points last year. That's going to be a false start at number 75. They had 102 playoff points, and somehow they were the 3rd seed and went on the road to Canton because Belleville went undefeated and they had like 115, and Canton had like 104, 105. But Saline had 102 this year, and it was good enough to give them the 1 seed.
And actually, there were more than one person in motion on that play because actually the ref indicated it was on number 3. But you're right, 75 was moved. Somebody had to count different than the quarterback.
Yeah, well, no, those are the penalties you just can't make. I mean, they're behind the sticks. It's just been trying to sustain the momentum that's been so hard for them so far. And the snap to Goodwin, and Goodwin's going to throw under pressure by Gammo. Went right through the hands of Noah Nelson. And 34 right there for them. Jaden Blanchard, that ball went right through the hands of Nelson. He had a chance to corral that, and if he would have been gone. However, that'll be the end of the first quarter, and Saline out to a rather dominating 12-0 lead here early, courtesy of a safety and
on a blocked
punt by Hayden Scott, a field goal by JT Turner, and I'm trying to think it was Monday who ran down for the touchdown here early untouched. Now the Maroon Giants are going to have 3rd and long when we get out of the break here. And you get the feeling here that this is starting to go kind of south for them. You wonder if we're going to have a running clock here by the start of the second half. And folks, for the running clock, it has to be a 35-point or greater margin. And if Saline is able to get it to 35 or more points here in the second quarter, there is no running clock, and it doesn't start, regardless of the score, until the second half. And I'd be surprised if I'm Coach Dwayne Wilson, the defensive coordinator for the Hornets. He played at Ferris State, played in the USFL for a little bit, in the XFL. If you're him right now, I think you're going to be dialing up all sorts of pressure because they have not really shown an ability to be able to block that. And their quarterback hasn't really shown an ability to throw it accurately 15 yards. So I think, you trust that your corners and everything will have good contain and will try and keep everything in front of them. They got 3rd down and a mile, but, I think, and that's the thing, too, is when you have Morrison and you have Terracore blitzing, these are big guys. And it's hard for a running back to block, someone like that who's running full blast at you, 6'2", 6'3", 230 pounds. I mean, they're bigger than some offensive linemen.
So see what they dial up here, Kalamazoo Central.
They're showing only 4 here. Maybe they'll be content to rush 4 because they've been able to get pressure with 4. They run a stunt here. Gammo with another sack here. Saban comes in, and Wisniewski's down, or it's Ashby, folks, that's shaken up, and he's the one you got to be worried about right now. He's a little slow to get up, but he looks like he's okay here, and yeah, they ran a twist right there. And that's what they're doing. They're doing these little D-line scheme stunts, and Kalamazoo Central has no answer for them because you saw Gammo run right over that the right side of the defensive line, and it was the running back who was trying to block him, and that's a tough assignment for any halfback. So,
But the other thing that you saw was Newski bulldoze his guy back in it, so it didn't even give Goodwin an escape route. He had been, because his offensive lineman was right next to him.
Yeah, it was in his lap, exactly. Right. That's a solid punt there. Malinzak going to send it back here, and it's going to take a friendly Kalamazoo Central bounce. Going to die at about the 30-yard line. Saline now going to get the ball at the 30-yard line, looking to get a long drive in, put some more points on the board.
Well, that was a 50-yard punt, effective punt, so that was good for Kalamazoo Central. But this is good to see if Saline can drive a decent, get a long drive going here.
And you see Ashby looks okay talking with Jamie Corral. I think he's got a bloody nose. Looks like he's holding his whatever, but definitely looks to be okay right there. Tell you what, this is really good experience for Saline's offensive line next year, too. They got St. Lawrence and Blazek who are going to be returning.
Arbach rolls out, passes to Malinzak.
That's a good catch by Malinzak.
Yeah.
Got hit hard, and as a result of the forward progress, going to get about 4 yards. That does it. And he's been the one guy for the Hornets, probably more so than anybody else. I mean, he catches everything, absolutely everything. I mean, we saw it in the Chippewa game. We saw it in the Grand Rapids game. We even saw it in the Monroe game where Albaugh led him a little bit too much, and he, had to dive, and one of the best catches I've seen in a long time. I mean, he's the one guy for the Hornets.
Monday again takes hand, waits for his blockers, cuts it up, gets it out to about the 37-yard line. It'll be a 3rd and 3.
Sure, 3rd and short here. Going to be about 3rd and 2, 3rd and 3 for the Hornets. You wonder if they're going to go put Smith back on the field here, and they're going to have Smith and Monday, so maybe a little bit of a power running thing.
This is where they could use you, Nathan. Just sort of like Ben Mason from Michigan, just the bulldozer type. Monday cuts it up.
Good job.
Gets into the secondary and carries it over midfield.
Oh, 75 just punched Chase Hartley. Oh, man, that is horrible. He threw Hartley to the ground and hit him right in the face, man. How he's not out of the game, I don't know. I mean, I guess they're going to be playing dirty because they're not used to getting their butts whooped, but there's just no place for that. And I know Hartley personally is a good kid, does everything the right way. I mean, you saw Ayers and Kyler Blake Jones pull. They wiped out their Kalamazoo guys, nothing dirty. They're just more muscular than them and wiped them out. And, I'm surprised because I don't blame the official. I mean, they're on the ground, but that should have been a 15-yard penalty and an automatic ejection. And they blitz right there. Monday going to fall backwards at the 49-yard line.
Marcus Wright shoots in there to make the tackle. Loss of about 2 on the play. Brings up 2nd and 12.
I tell you what, let's good job by Hartley maintaining composure here because a lot of times they get the retaliator. They don't ever get the guy that, originally makes contact. And I believe Brennan Murphy's probably in a hockey tournament. That was when he was out, I think it was against Skyline. That was the reason why he was out.
Monday, huge hole up the middle and carries it to the 40-yard line, pick up about 11 yards on that.
And you can see they're starting to get frustrated too. They blitz, they get Saline into 2nd and long, and Saline not doing anything, running right between the tackles, and they get it to 3rd and very manageable. They're up 12-0. They're at home.
Hand off to Scott.
He's got the first down.
Yep.
Gets hit hard. Does a good job hanging on to the ball. Tell you what, that's been one thing for Saline. We have not seen a lot of fumbles. The ball security's been very, very good for them. Every game we've done.
We will ignore that jinx was just said by Nathan Stearns, and we'll focus on ball, keeping control of the ball.
Well, I know, but we've seen Mail and Zach get hit hard in other games. We've seen Arico get hit hard. We've seen Clomega get hard. But they've been able to hold on to the ball. They've been able to run through contact. And I see St. Lawrence and Monday pull out, or St. Lawrence and Blazek, and Monday does a good job hitting the hole outside there for another solid gain here as the clock continues to roll.
The problem with Kalamazoo Central is that they're not making contact until the 2nd level.
Correct.
So it's going to be a challenge for them.
They're giving Saline 4, 5, 6 yards every time they run.
Yeah. Pass. Oh, we just complimented Malinzak, and the easiest pass he would have caught all year he dropped. But you could tell he was looking to go somewhere before he caught it.
Well, he had room to. He had room to operate. You know what, though? I mean, that's all right. You might be 4-down territory here for the Hornets at their 30-yard line. Kalamazoo Central's offense once again hasn't really shown the ability to do much of anything, for lack of a better term. And now, they don't need to get everything back here, but they do need to make it a little bit more manageable. Arball with time. Boy, he's got Sitterly
wide open in the end.
Holy mackerel, you want to talk about blown coverage. And Grant Sitterly doing his best Brendan Murphy impression. 18-0 now for the Hornets, and they're going to send on Turner here. And this one, folks, is becoming a little bit of a rout here early.
And you could tell it was blown coverage because the D-back, Zontario Weekly for Kalamazoo Central, had some unkind words for his teammates.
Yeah, Well, and it's just the undisciplined whatever. You can't shoot yourselves in the foot as many times as they've had. And Saline's, they're not doing anything really fancy. The rollout, they're not doing flea flickers or anything like that like we saw, with Monroe. It's just, or that Michigan State touchdown that they had against Michigan. It's just been Saline running their base plays, and it's worked to perfection so far. Saline right now is going to be up 19-0 here. So Saline's able to win this. Yeah, you wonder how East Kentwood and Brighton are doing, because that's going to be the next Hornets game, and it will be here regardless of whether it's Friday night or Saturday. They both kicked off at 1.
Brighton's up. Well, that's actually Brighton. They're going back and forth. It's 14-14. Still in the first quarter. They're just everybody's scoring.
Now,
there's no defense being played so far.
Well, I tell you what, though, and I think that's something that's going to bode well huge for Saline, is if they, regardless, especially if they play East Kentwood, folks, driving from across the state. This is a very hostile environment. Saline's a Division III college disguised as a high school. And flat out is with the turf, with the jumbotron, with all the, just everything they have, with the locker room, with the really nice concession stands. Playing at the friendly confines of the Hornet Stadium is where they do their best work. They've only had one road playoff game. They've had a couple neutral site playoff games since Polka's been here, but the one true road game was against Canton, and they lost 41-7. Turner.
Squib kick by Turner.
And they're going to try and get it here, and it gave Saline's team plenty of time to get down the field. Took a really slowed down there at about the 25-yard line, and
tackled by number 94 Wisniewski and number 90 Jonah Ashby. So it's good to see Jonah back out there.
And KZU's going to have it at their own 22-yard line. I know our Tran Longmore for Saline couldn't be here today because the Saline girls field hockey teams at State's battling Ann Arbor Huron. Congratulations to them. So my good friend Luke Sloan's actually covering the Saline Post for them today. So I want to give a little bit of a shout out to him.
And remember, if you're listening to our broadcast, don't be afraid to reach out to us. Love to mention you on the air. I know the Greiner family is listening today to our broadcast. They've been tuning into most of our broadcasts this year, but if you're listening, let us know.
I tell you what else, Saban, number 91, Zach Saban, is on the sidelines right now. Number 97, Brent Baldus for the Hornets. I tell you what, it comes from a good bloodline. Emily Baldus was a heck of a softball pitcher here. Brandon Baldus was the starting defensive tackle on that state championship runner-up team. And he's only a sophomore, so he's going to be really, really good for them in the interior. Him and Saban are going to be really good on the interior for the Hornets. You just look at it.
The 10 to
there is a flag far side. Maybe, I think it's probably a procedure penalty.
But it was Lewis again on the carry.
But the one thing you notice about Baldus, and the one thing that he gives Saline a lot of size on the interior. He moves off the ball pretty well, but he's 6'1", and I played against him whenever I went against him in practice last year, and I remember thinking to myself, he's going to be so good because he's so technically sound. He's what Brian Monet is for Michigan. He gets in there, and he's a run stuffer. Like Monet is for the Wolverines, it's hard to move a guy that's that big. He takes on two blockers, and you can't push him down. So when you have two blockers trying to occupy one guy, when you have Monty Green, Alex Morrison, and Tarek who are able to fill the hole that quickly, it really benefits the Hornets quite well.
It was a procedure penalty, so it brings up 2nd and 11.
7 minutes to go here in the
first half in the second quarter here, and just another silly procedure penalty for the Maroon Giants. Fake the handoff. Ashby blew up. Goodwin keeps it and gets a nice play out of it.
Well, that was a good fake there. Ashby went barreling through the hole and knocked number 3 for the Maroon Giants. That is Roy Wimper on Philip Smith, on his butt. And Baldus now going to check out, and Zach Saban's going to check in. The Maroon Giants have a long 3rd and 3 here. And you wonder if they really have any hurry-up tempo sort of thing, because with this, when you have these high school playbooks, I mean, there's just not a lot of, they're not as developed as college and the pros, and when you have one specific style of offense, it's hard to deviate from that.
Breaks the tackle. Number 34 on the carry breaks the tackle, and looks like he picked up a first down, Jaden Blanchard.
And Tarek was in there. He had that blown up. He read that correctly, but that's something he'll get fixed. Nothing too bad. But that's the important thing more than anything else. Yeah, I mean, because you can fix missed tackles. That's something, getting on the tackling dummy will do. It's the mental stuff that you really want to see, whatever, because you know that that the application's there. It's just the final process.
So first down, Kalamazoo Central. I think only their second first down of the day. Goodwin back to pass.
He's got time. He's got him, yeah. He had Noah Nelson beat over the top. Number 12. We don't have him on
It was number 20, William Reed, who was out there and then it was Nelson on coverage. So.
And he got behind the Hornets secondary. That's something we've talked about. Saline really hasn't faced a lot of really these aerial teams. They struggled against Chippewa when Chippewa really started trying to throw the ball, and they struggled early, and it was Nelson who got beat on that inside release. When we were playing Grand Rapids here, that was the only touchdown of the game here. So definitely something. And the thing is, the Hornets are bringing up the safeties more for almost a cover 2 look. They don't really have it. Oh boy, that was blown up. Gamma was in the backfield before that ball was even snapped.
He drove his guy right into the ball carrier, number 10, Lewis, and they both got hit that play.
They did. But going back to the previous point, that's something. Maybe Saline's going to probably try maybe play more deep safeties. Trying to keep everything in front of them more, not like a prevent defense, but a little bit more of a bend but don't break sort of thing. Because Kalamazoo hasn't shown the ability to throw it deep, so they're starting to stack more and more safeties into the box. And now you're going to have Griffin, and he'll play a little. They're going to be playing back more. It's going to be a timeout, folks. And with 5 minutes to go here, Saline is up 19-0.
Well, that's it's been a good first half for Saline. I'd like to see if they get one more score in before halftime and hold them here, and just the earlier we can get second string players, etc., in, better for us. It is a cold day. Just an update on that Brighton East Kentwood score. It's a track meet. It's 21-14 with 9 minutes to go in the first half. And Brighton has scored on every possession thus far, but I do believe East Kentwood has scored on every possession thus far. So, like we had said, not a lot of defense so far in that game. We'll see who gets tired first.
Oh, yeah, whoever blinks first. So that, if you're a Hornets fan, there's two ways of thinking of that. I mean, Saline's defense is going to have to play their best game of the year next week, and that Saline's offense might have several opportunities to score as well. But so that one's a track shoot here. This game, obviously not nearly as much of a track shoot here. You got Arbaugh warming up on the sideline, just trying to keep warm. They're not going to pull the first stringers before the half ends. No, and I would probably, if they do go in, it probably won't be until the fourth quarter. I can imagine that they're at least going to get one drive. They're going to get that opening kickoff. Probably not until a running clock. That's how Polka's always been.
So it's 3rd and 12 here.
Saline showing pressure. Now they back off. Morrison and Green back into coverage. Saline's been able to get pressure with 4, looking for a screen
pass.
34.
And he's going to be stopped well short. Saline played that very well. They worked through the blocks. That's how you – defending a screen's hard, folks. When you get your athletic offensive linemen down the field, they're so big and so strong they can seal off those linebackers. But like we said, Tarek and Morrison are bigger than some of their guards are right now. So did a good job playing that, and going to be 4th and 6. I think you have to go for it here. Down 19-0. What do you have to lose? You can't give the Hornets the ball back with 4.5 minutes to go here, but if Saline's able to stop them, they're 10 yards away from being in field goal range, and that's Gammo.
And Wisniewski, they both jumped.
And you can't have that if you're – and they didn't jump by much, but it's just knowing the situational thing, and that'll be a talking point for them. You'd rather see them do something like that because it'll be a point of emphasis. You'd rather see them do something like that in a game like this than a game versus East Kentwood. Flat out, you would. And now it's going to be 4th and 1 for the Maroon Giants, and hopefully Gammo I don't want to say he's earned himself a little bit of a right to screw up, but he kind of has because he's been such a monster in the interior here so far. And he will
off
get
to
it.
Lewis, and he gets the first down.
Saban right there does a good job ripping him down right there. And now you're going to have Henry Conan, who's been rotating in. He was a guy for the Hornets that had the chance to be an offensive guard, was being rotated in. Number 74, he gave them a lot of size, and I think that's what was attractive about him. Didn't work out. Switched to D-line during the season, and now he's rotating in with Saban and Baldus. So what does that tell you? He's going to be really good next year, and he just gives them a lot of size. Henry Conan wearing number 74, the number that I made famous.
Exactly. I was just thinking that.
Now that's a hold in 3 quarters, and it's going to be a late call.
But
now,
it isn't going to matter because the sack further back than the
flag.
They'll take the down.
And you see Polka running, declining it, and you got the official that's telling them that they're not going to, that they're going to decline it. And that, I'm just happy they made the call. Better late than never. You know, the thing is, even though that they are high school refs, that they do, and because I was at a sports camp, a MIPA sports journalism camp at Michigan State, and we talked to the MHSAA athletic director. He came in and talked to us, and we asked him how these referees are assigned. And I believe the chairman's name is Jack Andrews, and what he said was they are evaluated, and they do it by merit. So you're kind of getting the best of the best here, just like you do for the World Series or the Super Bowl. The better umpires, they do it because they get paid more. They get paid more for working these postseason games, but they also do it based on evaluation. So so far, a pretty well officiated game.
Hand off to number 34. He maybe picks up a yard. Again, that's Jaden Blanchard.
Yeah, now you're setting up 3rd and 21 here, and I'm surprised Saline's not calling a timeout. Because if they're going to have a good chance here, because Kalamazoo's backed way up. Up 19-0. They're going to have a chance if they really want to be aggressive here to try to get one more score before halftime. And the Maroon Giants at this point need a miracle. 21 yards, and you see the student section for Saline making noise, and that's first time you've really heard a peep out of them all day. They really haven't needed them.
Pass out in the flat, falls incomplete again, intended for Blanchard. He was going to pick up a few yards if he could have made the catch, but clearly wouldn't have been enough for the first down. So now that saves Saline because now they don't have to use a timeout with 2:54 remaining here.
3 timeouts. They got all the time in the world.
Yeah.
Well, I saw Wisniewski too beat his man on a swim move inside, and he was right in the face of the quarterback.
Yeah, he threw it a lot sooner than he wanted to.
He did, and it's just constant pressure for the Hornets, and that's what you expect. And a high snap. Not a great punt.
And a bad punt because he didn't realize that Saline wasn't pressuring him, so he had more time than he thought.
And we're going to get a flag here. Number 46 for them, Cannon Crawford. And good job there by Hayden Smith, just bite his tongue and walk off the field. Saline's going to take those 15 yards. That's twice now. We saw, number 56.
Undisciplined play. Yeah.
Well, they're frustrated. They're frustrated at this point. They're kind of getting run off the map here, and they'll be down 20-plus points at halftime if Saline's able to at least get a field goal here. So they know Saline gets the ball first in the second half. So, and it's that 15-yard penalty, and that's going to give it to the Hornets at way over the 50-yard line. It'll be at about the 40-yard line of the Maroon Giants. So, and Saline can run it here. And they could run it here several times, to get it into field goal range. If you don't want to pass it here, you can stop the clock 3 times. It's going to be holding on the Hornets. I have no idea. I thought I saw a personal foul.
It clearly was a personal foul, but they got tangled up, and the ref interpreted it as a holding on Scott instead of a personal foul on Kalamazoo Central.
That's 2 now they've missed. That's 2.
It's all right. These are the things you also have to play over adversity.
You do. But
and Saline truly does have quick strike capability
here.
I just don't think Polka's gonna. Well,
they split out 4 wide. Yeah, they got 3 out. Trips right. Yeah, and then they got Harbaugh and Monday. And the thing here is, if you're Harbaugh, you can't force anybody.
And Harbaugh's rolling out. Pass it to Malinzak. Gets about 3 yards.
You know, and Saline now got to go a little bit of hurry up here. I'm surprised we see number 56, Max Farron at guard. I wonder if St. Lawrence is hurt or because he was starting and he had the first several offensive series for the Hornets. Don't see Jamie Coral, the athletic trainer, is attending to him. So
it's probably just, again, we're doing some rotation. Griffin gets a pass. Late hit on Arbaugh, but there's a flag behind the play. So we'll see what it is, but there was clearly a late hit on Arbaugh.
It was, yes.
But I don't think that's the flag.
Yeah, if this was the NFL, he'd been tossed by now.
So we're interesting to see what they call here. No flag. They picked it up.
Okay.
First down, Saline.
There's no flag on the play.
So the result of the play stands, and Griffin does a really good job getting out of bounds. So Saline can run a play here. They can run a play here, and they don't have to burn a timeout. They still have 3 timeouts, 2 minutes left, and they're at the 41-yard line of themselves. So they definitely have. And Polka's being aggressive, and you see Hartley checking the protection. Plenty of time, and he goes long here, and he has Arico. Tripped up by the turf monster.
You hate when that happens.
But what a throw by Arbaugh. Left it right on the money. That Griffin throw, he's come out firing today, and he's done a phenomenal job.
And that was a great pass pattern because what truly happened is Malinzak ran the deep defender off.
He did.
And so, sometimes when you see 2 guys in the coverage, you think it, but that was a design play. Monday runs it to the outside.
He's able to get 2 maybe
yards.
1-2, yeah. Now you might see Saline. I guess they're not using their
They have 2
yet.
timeouts left because they used that one on the field goal.
Correct, yes.
Yeah. So, but they have plenty of time, 25 yards from the end zone with 1:36 remaining.
Well, they get 10 or 15 more yards, and they're in Turner's wheelhouse. I mean, he could probably even make it from out here. He's had enough leg.
Fakes the handoff, pass inside.
Oh, Malinzak, another drive. Yeah. Tell you what, that's going to be another thing. I mean, more than anything else, you like seeing the accuracy from Arbaugh. Threw it right on the money, but that is the second drop for Malinzak.
That's all right. Here's the key to that. He's got to get his head clear.
He does. He does.
You can't hang your head. Everybody drops passes. It's just one of those things.
Well, he's been Saline's, and they're going to need him to continue to.
Definitely.
And he's not going to get pulled. He's not going to get yanked. It's about regaining his confidence back. You'd like to see him, maybe get a touchdown pass or something. We saw Arbaugh, little screen pass
out
there.
to Klemega.
And he breaks it.
And down inside the 10-yard line. First and goal to go inside.
Joel Klemega, yeah, boy, he's been. But especially in going back to Malinzak, we saw Arbaugh against Monroe. He had that little pass over to Monday. At the later part of the game was pretty much already decided. But what does he do the next week? Comes out firing against Grand Blanc, and he's firing out here. You never know what's going to be able to flip a player's confidence switch. You never do.
Well, the thing with Malinzak is he makes the hard catch. These are 2 easy catches, and you just wonder if, he loses a little concentration. So, handoff inside to Monday. He's got a few blockers. Thrown out of bounds.
At the 5-yard line. I thought are they going to give him out of bounds? It looked like he did get out of bounds.
Yeah.
They're going to give him 2 yards. Yeah. So well within Turner's field goal range here, and now
with 1:05 remaining here in the
2
first
timeouts.
half.
Yeah, your playbook is still completely open. And now they're going to go power here, so I'd imagine they're going to run it.
Again, inside to Monday, cuts it up right inside. Flag on the play, unfortunately. He's probably down inside the 1, but
probably going to be a holding penalty. And that's the one thing, if you're the Hornets, you didn't want to have. Yeah. You didn't want to have. You want to do, if nothing else, you want to get the 3 points here. And they're going to get the ball at about the
19-yard line. Or 18-yard line. That's where the flag's at the 8, so it'll be a 10-yard penalty spot foul.
I thought that foul was at the 5 or the 6. It looked like he was able to break through a little bit, but Saline now probably needs to get another, it's going to be 2nd and 18. Now the question is here, how conservative do you go? Do you just try to go more intermediate routes that make it a more manageable field goal? or do you try to throw it for the end zone again here? Going to run it, or they're going to fake it, and he's got to get rid of it. He's got pressure, and there's a fumble on the ground.
And that's what he can't do.
Yeah, he held on to it too long.
Yeah.
He had pressure backside. That was Max Fair who's subbing in for the first time. And good job there by Chase Hartley, the center, though, getting over there to rip him down. But those are good, those are film things, and that's going to be things for the Hornets that they'll be able to work on.
Yep.
No harm, no foul here. The Maroon Giants have only 48 seconds. You wonder how aggressive they're going to be. I mean, they're down by 19, but the last thing you need is your quarterback to get jarred again, because before, they might fumble it, or, you just never know at this point.
Well, update on the Brighton score. They were up 28-14, but East Kentwood just scored, so now it's 28-21, and Brighton has the ball with 7 minutes to go in the first half there. Nowhere to go there, and a loss on the play.
And Brighton would be a big challenge for the Hornets. They would present a really unique challenge. It'd be interesting to see how well they do. I mean, obviously they travel pretty well, because they had to go all the way to East Kentwood on the other side of the state, and right now they're at East Kentwood, who went 9-0. And they play in a really hard district, and they're up by touchdown board. Morrison does a good job. You got to wrap him up right there. Good gang tackling. He tried to break it, but he's still going to be short of the chain, so the clock's not going to stop while they reset the chains.
But timeout there for Kalamazoo with 13 seconds.
Yeah, they
to go.
just don't have. I don't think there's any feasible way their quarterback can throw it to the end zone from here.
Well, I know what the halftime discussion is going to be, is that we were really sloppy in the last minute of the first half here.
It is, yes. Yeah. It is, and, it's going to be important. Polka's definitely going to want to see them come out of the half and be crisp before he, may pull the ones. He's going to want to see them, continue to execute and do what they did the first quarter and, the first 90% of the game. The last 10%'s been. And you see Hartley a little upset because he was the one that allowed the pressure on the backside there. But, he's been the rock for the Hornets, gets them in good positions. And for a guy that's 5'9", 5'10", you want to see him, he holds himself to a high standard. And he'll learn from that. And, I don't think he's allowed to sack all year. So definitely he's been the Hornets' rock. And, even the best from time to time.
Unless your name's Nathan Stearns, then. But then nobody can live up to that standard. So it'll be 3rd and 1, but with 13 seconds to go.
Left,
so
yeah.
it's not. We're not looking for first downs. We're looking for something else, I would assume, from Kalamazoo, because as you stated, we do get the ball back to start the second half. So.
And I think that was Polka's plan, is stop them on defense and then try and score on offense, and then you automatically put yourself at a huge advantage. And they're just going to run it here. It's going to run out of bounds, and that took 6 seconds off the clock here at the 50-yard line. You wonder if their quarterback has enough from this. Problem, though, is, he's got to let his receivers get down the field. And asking that pocket to hold up with the way Saline's rushed so far is going to be quite hard to do. He's got to allow 6-7 seconds for those receivers to get down the field. And like I said, Ashby's already given pressure. And incomplete pass, 1 second to go. And even if he would have caught it, he would have been well short of the end zone.
That is actually they
are going to let it run down here. Yeah. Saline with a dominant half, 19-0 lead as a result of a random Monday touchdown, JT Turner field goal, and a blocked punt by Hayden Scott. And folks, we will be back here momentarily to bring you guys the second half of this game.
And a nice touchdown by Sitterly as well, Grant Sitterly. So, all right, see you in the second half.
fans, playing selection from this year's show. Please welcome back to the field the Saline High School Marching Band under the direction of Mr. Scott Cannell.
me back. Just cause they heard where I'm from, they think I'm crazy. Okay, well maybe just a little crazy. Cause I admit I'm crazy about that lady, yeah. Finger to the world, you can't have a slave. Cause I'm running out of patience, no more waiting on her. Acting like a young, living life on fast forward, but with trauma, yeah. She said she too young, don't want no man. So she gon' call her friends, now that's a plan. I just ordered sushi from Japan. Now y'all just wanna kick it, Jackie Chan. She said she too young, don't want no man. So she gon' call her friends, now that's a plan. I just ordered sushi from Japan. Now y'all just wanna kick it, Jackie Chan. Jackie Chan. I can't wait for the show. Got that booty, yeah, I know. You should not be alone. All this drink got me low. Got me right now, feel so alive. She don't wanna play, she don't wanna be no wife. She just wanna stay out late. She just wanna stay away. Can't tell her nothing, no big tell her nothing, no. She said she too young, don't want no man. So she gon' call her friends, now that's a plan. I just ordered sushi from Japan. Now y'all just wanna kick it, Jackie Chan. Well, maybe a little, baby, I don't wanna lie. I know when you text me, girl, I don't always reply. Well, you're not an angel either, you can't even fly. I know this, one thing that you know. All this shade is coming at me, I wonder who throws it. They can't see the vision, boy, they must be out of focus. That's a real hot album, homie, I wonder who wrote it. Oh, slow day, pray to me, go, hey. Oh, we sell the clowns around, it look like circus show, hey. This is not the album either, these are just the throwaways. This feels so cold when it drops, it's gon' be a motherfucking snow day. Hey, boy, it's good and he knows it. He don't say it, he shows it. I'm just like the Rosen. If I shoot it, it goes in. I'm in Cali just coasting. Get him so where can he coasters? I got a selfie with Oprah. I just stand up and post it. I'm in my happy place posted. I ain't frowned since '06. I ain't cried since '01. My began. I can't begin to know, but then I know it's growing strong. Was in the spring, and spring became a summer. Who would believe we'd come along? Touching hands, reaching out, touching me, touching you. Don't seem so long, we did it all with always. And when I hurt, holding hands off my shoulders, now that I hurt, holding you. Touching your reaching out, touching me, touching
Conference for quite a little bit of time. They eventually came up with the same conclusion that was apparent to all of us in the press box, that it was indeed a safety, and Saline now will be getting the ball back to start the second half here. And folks, at halftime, it is
Mention his touchdown.
it is a 28-28 game between East Kentwood and Brighton. Grant Sitterly had that touchdown earlier for the Hornets, as well as Brendan Monday. Sitterly, the product of getting behind the Kalamazoo coverage, and they bit really hard on the play fake roll out to the right for Arbaugh. Arbaugh's looked very good here so far. Has completed most of his passes. I don't know if he's completed all of them, but he's thrown a lot with mustard. Colton Malinzak, who's normally the Hornets' sure-handed man's, dropped two that have hit him right in the chest. But despite all that, Saline still finds themselves in a very advantageous position here as we get ready to start the second half here. Looks like you wonder who's going to be going deep for the Hornets. Looks like Griffin and maybe Klonmega.
Yep.
So Saline's two best athletes are back there, which definitely is a good thing for them. You wonder, Kalamazoo, whenever they've kicked it, they've only kicked it once so far. You know, they might just try to squib it toward that Saline second line, because I don't know if they really have anybody on the field that, if Klonmega or Griffin get the wheels going, I don't know if they have anybody that can run them down. And Brill with the kickoff. Brennan Brill for the Maroon Giants.
Nice kickoff.
That's going to go, yep, that goes into the end zone. Solid kick there.
So their special teams are solid.
They are. And when we saw their kicker, their kicker was drain and stuff. And
from the other playoff game between Brighton and East Kentwood, at halftime it is scored. The score is tied, 28-28.
So you just heard that over the loudspeaker, folks. Quite a little bit of a track meet right there. You get the feeling that the team that's first to 60 might win.
Yes, indeed.
Not a lot of defense. So if you're a Hornets fan, you can either be really happy because maybe Saline's offense is going to have an opportunity to really go off next week, but it's also going to be the defense that is really going to need to show up here. Arbaugh once again has
pass out in the flat
to Scott wide open, and it's going to get about a solid
5 yards,
5-6 yards right there. And those short passes are working quite well for them. They're getting 5-6 yards every time. They're setting up second and manageable, and now it's going to be a gain of 6 exactly, and Saline's going to get it at just about the 26-yard line. Arbaugh quick snaps it.
And
Monday. And he's going to be right at the first down marker. I think he's going to be just a little bit short. Oh, they're going to give it to him. 37 for the Levi Walker for the Kalamazoo Central Giants with the tackle. Now you're going to see Malinzak check in as Scott, checks out for the Hornets. Arbaugh now is going to do fake there, and
Monday gets the edge, and
solid run there. It's going to be about a gain of 8. And Saline already marching with the ball at the 40-yard line. It's going to be a gain of 9. You see official wiping off the ball there a little bit. And Hartley, tell you what though, Chase Hartley's snaps have been immaculate all season. We saw, and that's one thing about Saline. We saw Zach Drevno snap really good. We saw Mitch Hansen. That's one thing that you see some teams struggle with, is they struggle with just the basics of getting a snap down. And Saline right now.
Monday cuts it up inside and gets a nice gap there. Carries it over the 45 to the 47-yard line. Good enough for a first down.
Saline continuing to melt the clock here. They'd like nothing more than to take 5 minutes off the clock and punch it in here.
I think they're also just trying to be deliberate. It's just they were sloppy, as we said, at the end of the first half, and let's just be very methodical and run down the field.
And let's do what we do well.
Right.
Maybe they started overthinking a little bit, and they're going to pull 36.
Omega cuts it back inside.
Gain about 1 or 2. And folks, what that play is, that's what it's in the playbook as 36. And normally what it means is that the guard goes out, the left guard goes out and kicks out the defensive end. They either kick out the defensive end, or if the defensive end scrapes inside, then they pin him. And then you have the offensive tackle that goes out and hits the backside linebacker.
3 wide to the far side. Pass out to Malinzak. Makes a nice move.
And that's the Malinzak we're used to seeing right there. That's an important, does a good job catching that right there. And now Saline, that sets up third and a lot more manageable. Now.
Yep, and that's the key. He had to make the first man miss. He did, and now it's 3rd and 5.
Saline now continuing to really slow down the pace here as we're now under 10 minutes to go in the third quarter. Hartley gets the snap. Snaps at 2. And he's got Scup, yep. Oh, he's close. I don't think he got it.
Nope.
I don't think he got it. He's going to
be 2 yards short.
Yeah, I don't think he got anything. It looked like he had him on the rollout, but a great tackle there. And I think they're going to go for it on the plus side of 4th and 2 on the plus side of the field right here. You're up by 3 scores. You wonder if Arbaugh's going to try and hard count him. He's not. Going to run right at him. And Monday, I think he got it.
Pulls his way forward.
I think he got it.
Bad spot. He got a horrible spot.
I think they're going to give it to him. He got it from up here. That's clear as day.
Well, you and I see, and they're going to measure it.
He got the first. He fell
they're
for it.
They're going to measure it.
You could see it from the naked eye. He got a yard and then he fell forward.
It was a bad spot. But.
And, not going to dwell on this, but it hasn't been the best officiated game. They missed some personal fouls, and the good thing is that I don't think it's going to make a difference.
And it's short.
Well, that's
bad spot.
That's a terrible spot. Yeah, Saline's going to have to.
Yeah. So we'll see the defense to rise up here.
Surprised Zach Saban's not going out there, number 91, to start the second half. The Hornets starting defensive tackle looks all right. It's Baldus, number 97 for the Hornets. Going to go in instead. Now you see
he's going down to talk to Coach Leslie, something they're working on. He's going to show him something, so maybe it's a teaching moment here. So he's standing right next to Coach Leslie, and he wants him to look at something here.
And now you're going to see they're going to try and drop back. See if Saline they're probably going to rush 4 once again here. They've been able to get pressure with 4. Now you see Nelson with the blitz, and he is going to blitz, and now they're going to run right up the middle. And he's going to gain about 3, 2 or 3.
Now it's funny, the spot they gave him there was much better than the spot.
Yeah, it's been that kind of game.
It's all right.
And it is what it is. It is what it is. The good thing is it's not going to have an impact on the overall game, I don't think.
Nope.
That is a sports fan. That was always like more of a bitter pill to swallow than anything else, is when the referees take the win away from you. But I don't think that's going to be the case here today by any means. Saline with a comfortable lead here at home.
Hand off in the middle to Lewis.
And he gains about
Gets it up to the
3
50.
or 4, yeah. At midfield now, Saban going to come back in here. Ball just checks back out, and they're going to have third and about 3, third and 2, third and 3. At the 50-yard line, right at midfield, are the Maroon Giants. And this is probably 4-down territory for them, I can imagine. They're kind of at the point now where they can't really afford to punt it anymore. You know, they're just down by as much as they find themselves down by, and as good as Saline's offense has driven the ball. You know, with 4 minutes already gone here then Saline's going to blitz here, and he's going to run to the far side. Oh, and Green had him, and Morrison, what a tackle. Monty Green read that perfectly. Wasn't able to ramp him down, but did slow him down long enough to allow Morrison to get over there.
And knocked him back, and it, like I say, Morrison came, but he was in hot. Wisniewski was in hot pursuit. That was great lateral movement by the Saline defense as
and
a whole.
They're not putting the ball back. They're giving him the same spot that I thought he lost a couple yards on the play.
They're going to go for it on 4th down.
And then that's the right call for him. That is that is absolutely the right call. Now, but you know, time's starting to become a little bit of a factor here too. The third quarter's almost halfway through, and they haven't, you know, scratched the scoring column yet here. Fakes it, and he did not get it. He did not get it. He is short.
Yeah, by a yard. So they'll go. The ball will
go back over to Saline's. And, yeah, that might be, and that's a great job there. Alex Morrison, boy, he has become such a good player. He's only a junior for Saline. It's scary to think what he could do next year. You know, because, I mean, he fills the hole so well. He tackles so well. I mean, it's just the fundamental stuff that he is just so good at, you know. And it's hard game planning for Tarek and him. It just is. And you have Monty Green, who's coming up, and he's had his moment to shine here, and he's been playing quite well. And now Saline with 7 minutes to go here.
In the Wildcat with M.J. Griffin.
Exactly. They have Monday in the backfield. Griffin's going to fake the handoff. Makes a man miss.
Picked up 2.
And it should have been a loss of about 3 yards, but Griffin does a good job right there, making his man miss, and Saline's going to get the ball at about midfield again. The ball was turned over on downs at about the 45-yard line, and now we're at midfield again, so we've kind of stayed in the same 10-yard window for the last 3 minutes here.
Well, that's good because it's right in front of us, so it's
easier
for us to call it.
It is.
Arbaugh back in at quarterback. Pitches
Option
out.
over to Monday. And Monday going to get out of bounds, be about a yard short of the first down marker. Saline bringing up 3rd and short again here. And, you know, they've had a lot of success running the option. They've had a lot of success pretty much running between. They haven't broken off, you know, that long run, but it's been, you know, 4, 5, 6 yards every time, you know, which is probably even more encouraging to see because they're just methodically wearing down the Maroon Giants. Arbaugh to Monday, and no, he did not get it.
No.
So he got blown up in the backfield.
2 yards.
Now you got 4th and 3 here, and you wonder if Saline going to go for it again here. I can imagine, and the punting unit's there, and they are going to send the punting unit out. A little bit of a sloppy third quarter for both teams here so far, but right now that obviously benefits Saline a lot more than it does Kalamazoo. But you can see Saline's, you know, just starting to go on the down tick a little bit here. But, you know, they're still playing great on the defensive end. And you know, on one hand, you don't want to see, and they fake it. They fake it, and Monday got it. Wow. Boy, that's pulling something out of the rabbit's hat right there.
First down, Saline.
Boy, that gutsy call there by Polka. Gutsy call.
Well, you know, they went for it, though, at that same position last possession. So either way, it didn't hurt them. So try something different this time, and it also gives somebody else something to think about next week.
Absolutely. Well, they've gotten a lot of good stuff on film.
Griffin.
There's a lot of good stuff.
Cuts it up inside and gets it down about the 37-yard line.
There's a lot of good stuff on film that the Hornets are going to be able to see because they've done a lot of things well, and there's some things that they've struggled with a little bit the last quarter and change. So, and that's going to be the good thing is that they're going to have time to fix these things. You know, and they're going to, if they don't play until Saturday, then that gives them an extra day of preparation.
Exactly. But they need to stay focused here, and I think that we've lost a little of that in this little bit of stretch. Harbaugh pass.
And
No, that was high.
That was, and he had Malinzak in the flat and open there. He knows it. He knows it. You know, he had him wide open right there and wasn't able. And now we're 3rd and 8 right here. And if Saline doesn't gain 4, 5, 6 yards here, I would be quite surprised if they didn't punt it.
3rd and 8.
Harbaugh getting ready to get the snap.
It's intercepted.
And Harbaugh throws his first interception of the game right here.
Turn mine down. He said 6. So that's the second turnover here by Saline today. That ball was tipped twice. So
now we're going to get Henry Conan at defensive tackle. So Saline rotating quite a few defensive tackles. It's just interesting to me to think, you know, this is a guy who a position change. In the middle of the season now he's cracking the rotation. Is an underclassman with a very good Saline. I mean, he's not rotating in with scrubs. He's rotating in with very good defensive linemen. And you think about him, you think about Saban, you think about Baldus. They're going to have some really good defensive linemen next year.
34 on the reception. Blanchard picks up about 3.
And now it's just becoming kind of a really, it's becoming a really methodical game, which really benefits Saline at this point as the clock continues to roll down here. Under 5 minutes to go in the 3rd quarter. Conan now is the one tech, and he just gives Saline so much size up there. You know, gets off the ball well.
Lewis on the carry up the middle, and he gets the first big run of the day for Kalamazoo Central.
That's a good shoestring tackle there by Greenwood, however, because if he doesn't get that, then, you know, he breaks that for quite a little bit there. And now we are going to get, you know, I just think Kalamazoo, there's not really anything in their playbook. Like for Saline, they have that quick strike offense. You know, they have a lot of coaches that played in college and coached in college. So the playbook is wide open. They have 2-minute plays. They have plays to slow down the clock. They have plays to speed up. I don't know if Kalamazoo Central has that. You know, they're down by 19, and that is a huge loss. Henry Conan blew that up. Jonah Ashby blew that up, and Noah Nelson blew that up. They had 3 Hornets in on that, and they're going to give them about a loss at 2. 2nd and 12 now from the 37-yard line.
So let's see if the defense still doing their part, but I'd like to see the offense when they get the ball back to get their efficiency back.
Yeah, I don't know how many second stringers we're going to see today. They have, it looked like it early, but they have started to slow down quite a bit here. 2nd and 12.
Goodwin's back. He rolls out. He's got a lot of room to run. Connor Terrick pushes him out of bounds, but not before he gains the first down.
And that's just an athlete making a big play right there. Got flushed out of the pocket. It was actually not bad protection. It was just, you know, they kind of all of the, it's what we called a mass of humanity when I played for Saline, when you'd have like 5 offensive linemen and 4 defensive linemen that just kind of like congealed in one, you know, in one spot. Now they have it across the 50-yard line at the 49 of Saline. Probably been there. It's one of their first plays in Hornets territory all day.
Quarterback keeps it, doesn't get back to the line of scrimmage, although it looks like they're going to give him the line of scrimmage. Bring up 2nd and 10.
And that's Henry Conan once again making another phenomenal play. I mean, you know, that's a heck of a play. That's 2 plays in a row. He's blown that up. And it's just you just get a lot of size from, you know, him and Baldus. I would almost be surprised if they didn't put Saban out at defensive end, because their 3 best D linemen next year are going to be Conan, Baldus, and Saban. And that's going to be a big interior. I tell you, you're going to have 2 270-pound athletic kids who can get off the ball.
Pass complete, and that was very nice play, because Morrison and Green missed the tackle, but slowed him up enough for Wisniewski to come in and make the tackle. Now it's 3rd and 6.
That's a good job. Yeah, that is a good job by him. You know, he's just following the ball, and that's the one thing with Saline is they send so many hits to the ball. You know, and they tackle like a swarm of hornets. I mean, yes, I had to say that. And I think they're going to call a timeout. I don't know what.
10 seconds, 8 seconds on the play clock.
And Goodwin now does get the snap.
Quarterback draw.
And he's
going to be
short. And obviously they are going to go for it here. Even if they do get it, I mean, they're just taking almost down to the end of the third quarter here. A lot of time coming off the clock.
It's 4th and 2 at the 41-yard line.
And the official spots the ball. And obviously they're going to be going for it right here. But no, I'm just kind of surprised. There's just not a lot of hurry up, you know.
No sense of urgency.
Exactly. I mean, and they're still at the 40-yard line. I mean, they've moved 20 yards, and it's taken them in the better part of 5 minutes. You know, they're just not in a luxury like that anymore. You know, they got to start if they want to win. They got to start going a little faster. Now they got 5 seconds on the play clock. They got to hurry. They're going to get it off. 3 seconds, 2 seconds.
And bad
low
snap, fumbled, and that's it. It goes over on downs.
And that's exactly what happens when you try to milk the clock as much. I think the quarterback started to get a little anxious. You know, when you melt it down that much, and now Saline now is going to have the chance with a minute to go here at the 47-yard line.
And look where the ball is again, right in the middle of the field.
Exactly. Great for us because we get to call it, but there's not really been a lot of change one way or the other the last 6 minutes here for the better part of this entire quarter.
So let's see if the offense can get clicking again. Like to see him put another score on the board here, put this game out of reach, and just get back into that rhythm.
That's a good job.
Nice cut
and
out there.
There's going to be 2 flags. That's a good cut, but and those are the penalties you're talking about, you know. Yeah. Now number 75 for them. Can't put any weight. He's in a lot of pain. Now they're going to have to get number 71 to check in. That is 71, Kevin Moore, senior, who's going to check in for number 75, McKinley Underwood, a senior. You know, and I don't know if he just Charlie horse, but he's in a lot of pain.
Looks like an ankle.
It does. And now you're Saline. Now if you're Saline, you wonder, even though it's second and it's going to be 1st and 20, if they won't run it right at the new guy, because that new guy that they're bringing in 71.
Chop block on Saline.
And now you got 1st and 25. You wonder how aggressive they are, but now you have, you know, their defensive line right now with him in is a lot smaller. With Underwood in, you know, they had one big guy, and now, you know, they're losing quite a bit of size. He's probably about 240 pounds. They got him listed as 245 on here.
Questionable that it was a spot foul. I didn't think that was a spot foul because they made it 17 yards instead of. But again, that's where the officiating crew is. But on that personal foul, I don't believe a chop block is a spot foul. But it's all right.
Now, well, look at that. Now we're back behind a little bit. We're not at the same 10-yard window that we've been for the whole. And now, yeah, you're going to see Saline really slow it down here. They're going to try to get it to the end of the quarter, you know, and milk the clock as much as they can. Harbaugh with 13, and now they're going to run it. And he got
in the backfield. We are really, we've taken our foot off the gas, and we're not playing well right now on the offensive side of the ball.
Well, that's something that they'll work on. I mean, they're missing blocks, and
yeah.
But that's the thing that you have to wonder. They're going to have to maintain that intensity they had in the first half, all 4 quarters against East Kentwood.
No question.
You know,
about
with Chippewa Valley, I mean, they started off good and they let off a little bit, and they lost the game. That, you know, they very easily could have won. And Harbaugh, how he got that off, I don't know. That was a heck of a job. But now, yeah, they're going to be conservative here, milk the clock, and then I would be surprised if they don't just
That'll be the last
here.
play of the third quarter.
Saline still with that 19-0 advantage at the end of the first half here.
Saline on top, 19, Kalamazoo 0.
And at the start of the third quarter, it's still a 28-28 game between East Kentwood and Brighton, so that's another track meet. I mean, your guess is as good as mine as to who comes out and wins that one.
East Kentwood gets the ball to start the second half.
And now you got 3rd and a country mile for the Hornets. It's funny, as soon as I say country mile, country road starts playing.
There you go.
but yeah, they're definitely they're going to be very conservative here. They're not.
But we, like I said, I think Coach Palka wants to see him get back into rhythm. It's just not.
It's not there. It's not there. You're right.
And it hasn't been there since the end of the first half.
It went down when they fumbled the ball. When they fumbled the ball in the red zone right there, that was kind of the chance for them to salt that away before halftime.
Right.
And it's not necessarily about today getting back into rhythm. It's really not. It's about next week, because you don't want to go into the locker room with a bitter pill in your mouth. That's the worst thing that can happen.
Right. So let's see what they dial up here. Wouldn't surprise me if it is a run again. It's 3rd and 25.
3rd and a country mile. Arbaugh, just quick throw.
Out in the Monday Bulls forward. Gives a better place for Cropsey to punt from.
And now, of course, the punt team for Saline goes out now. And imagine that, we're at just about at the 40-yard line again.
Yeah.
Going to be 4th and 17, it's about an 8-yard. If Cropsey's able to stands back at about his 25-yard line, I mean, he can kick it. Hopefully they get a nice, generous roll here. They got one man deep, another man standing at about the
bad snap.
Good job,
but
Corral.
A nice punt by Cropsey. Really nice punt. A nice tackle on there. Who hustled down there on that?
That was Gammo, and that was Ayers. That's what you like seeing from Ayers, though. Right. That was a bad snap. Don't get me wrong, that was a bad snap. But he's taking his 250-pound friend. He's busting down there, and he just made the tackle. I mean, that's...
At the half, Huron and Saline are tied at 0.
So in the state championship game for women's field hockey, Saline and Ann Arbor Huron are tied at 0 at halftime.
And I'll tell you one thing. I played with Noah Ayers, and I'll tell you what, like his older brother Luke, the madder he gets, the better he plays. Like, he's going to go out next drive, and he's going to start mauling people. Like whenever we would go in with the second offensive line, like last year, I mean, he'd get mad, and he would just start pancaking the living crap. Wisniewski almost got there. And he's going to get about 3 or 4 before, like I said, you have 3 Hornets that bring him down, Morrison, Green, and Hill, or Zambek, excuse me, and then you have a bunch of other Hornets that were right in the area right there.
So we're under 11 minutes remaining in the contest.
But if there's one encouraging thing, it's that Saline's defense is not taking their foot off the gas.
No.
They've played well, and they're going to have to play even better than they have this week in order to stop the high-flying attack of either East Kentwood or Brighton. Yeah.
Right.
Either offense, because at this point it is a crapshoot. But, I mean, they're both, scoring. And they've scored 56 points at the half. And I believe... I don't know what, probably a false start or false start on Kalamazoo, and that, get 4 yards and then, take 1 step forward, 2 steps back, because now they're at 2nd and long again. And they really haven't shown the ability to, pass it exactly. So they're running it for 2-3 yards, and, you just...
I'm pretty sure Kalamazoo has less than 100 yards of total offense here.
Yeah.
So
Saline's defense has shut them out.
Yeah.
And it's and for the offensive rhythm, it's not about today because, as our viewers know, barring something extremely unforeseen, Saline's probably going to win this. It's about next week and about getting that offensive rhythm. We saw, our ball look really, and now Ashby's in the backfield. That might be intentional grounding. I mean, there was nobody in the area. I don't know if he was outside of the pocket.
He was outside of the pocket, but I didn't see a receiver anywhere near.
Within the country mile, yeah.
But it brings up 3rd and 11 with 10:03 remaining here in the contest.
And now Baldus going to check out. Greenwood checks in, and now, Saline's going with they only have 3 down linemen in right now. Saban's not in, and Conan, who's been rotating, is not in, so maybe they're just going to go with a 3-man front right here. I guess they are.
Now, in the past, this is where Goodwin's done the quarterback draw in this situation.
And you have Morrison and you have Tarek, like they're all wide, and now they're going to creep up.
Yeah.
And now Hill goes in unblocked. Another flag. Wisniewski comes in, gets the sack. Wonder what the flag is. It was thrown in the area of the line of scrimmage.
If it's holding, I doubt Saline will accept it.
No, they won't, because it'll be fourth and a mile. And Palka's doing the decline motion, so I get the feeling it probably is going to be against Kalamazoo Central. They might have more penalty yards than they do yards of total offense. I don't know. I mean, they've had a lot of penalty yards. Now the officials get a conference once again. It's going to be another false start, so they will decline it, and it will bring up fourth and about 11. Yeah, from the same spot. So and
see what they do with it here.
They have to go for it. I mean,
they are sending out the punt team.
So is that kind of them waving the white flag, you think?
It could be. They just don't, because if they don't get it here, even if Saline's offense has been struggling,
they get great field position. You know what I mean? And that's
But maybe they've got a fake punt play, just like Saline has, or maybe they're hoping for turnover. Good snap, good punt.
Malin's egg would be best to probably just fair catch this.
But he does not, and he makes a nice move.
Oh, that's a late flag, and we're going to get another block in the back penalty.
So, like I say, the harder the catch, the better Colts Malin's egg is.
It might be on number 30. It was, I think that was J.J. Ornheft, or Jordan Harris for Saline that really kind of blasted his guy right around the area of the return. So I think that's what's going to be. And those are the little procedure penalties Saline can't have. You know, you have good field position and you kind of shoot yourself in the foot, you know, right here with that. I mean, they are still going to get solid field position at the 31, I want to say, 31, 32. They're going to get it at the 30.
Well, East Kentwood takes his first lead of the game on a field goal. It's 31-28. With 5 minutes to go here in the third quarter over there at East Kentwood.
And once again, folks, we've had this offensive left guard platoon all day. And now Evan Schultz is going to check in for his first drive of the game. Max Fair got upstairs earlier, and Carter St. Lawrence. So you wonder if that's them trying out because they have been a little weak so far. And Griffin makes a man miss.
And then makes a couple more guys miss.
And he lost the football. And it looked like there was a lot of Maroon Giants around the field. I don't know if
Second down.
Saline got it back. Lance Blazak, the tackle, dived right in there.
Hustled over there, got the ball back.
I think he was the one that jumped on the top of that pile. But, you know, those are things, I mean, Griffin, you know, does a good job using athleticism to make people miss there. But, you know, just got to be a little bit more careful than that at this point of the game here. Brings up 2nd and 2.
And unfortunately, he's holding his shoulder right now.
And Monday. And that's the run Saline needs. That's the run. You see Arbaugh being a good sport right there, helping up number 71. But now he's slow to get up. He went in for the injured number 75 for them, who was McKinley Underwood. And he was slow to get up, and now he's limping off. And now they're having to bring out their center, or they're bringing in one of their offensive linemen to play defensive tackle because they just lost their 2 starting defensive tackles. And now Kyler Blake Jones is walking with a little bit of a limp. Right there, the game's starting to get chippy. Now for Saline, you know, you're starting to see Griffin was hurt a little bit. The right tackles, this is kind of, you just kind of want to get out of here with the win.
Yep.
You know, you don't want any more because, I mean, they're starting to play chippy. A little bit of extracurricular activity. You don't want anybody getting hurt for next week's district final game, which will be here at Saline. And once again, folks, I would like to stress the importance to you guys that it will, if it's Brighton, it will 99% sure it will be here on Friday night at 7 p.m. Or if East Kentwood comes, it would probably be here at 1 p.m. again.
On Saturday.
Correct. Looks like Jones is okay. Griffin looks all right. I think he probably just got a little bit of a bruise. And he wasn't holding
stinger.
it. Yeah, he was. I mean, he wasn't, you know, off the field grimacing or anything. He just, you know, maybe felt a little something. At this point, you don't need to force anything. You know, you don't need to rush him out there.
Exactly. So Scott and Clemega in the backfield.
That's a good.
Arico with the catch.
And he fumbles the ball. And Kalamazoo.
Touchdown.
And that's going to be a 19. Boy.
This is why the offense can't take his foot off the gas.
And that's a.
This is reminiscent of Bedford.
This is. They need one more score and they'll be okay. I mean, that's the only offense KZU's been. It's still a 2-possession game. and Arico, just trying to do too much, and he fumbled. Polka's not going to be happy in the locker room at all. They're going to be working very hard on Monday, I can tell you that. Because they shooting themselves a little bit in the foot, quite a bit. I mean, that's 3 fumbles they've had, 3 fumbles and an interception.
Here in the second half.
Correct. And if they're able to block this extra point, that would be really good. Here you don't see Griffin on the PAT unit.
Bad snap, but the holder got it down.
Got able to squeak it.
Yep.
Now Saline still ahead 19-7 over Kalamazoo Central. 8:52 to go now. Saline, you wonder how. I don't know. I mean, this is why they don't pay me to play the calls, because on one hand, you don't want to make this harder than it needs to be, and they have made it harder than it needs to be. They get one more score here, especially a touchdown, and then it's over. I mean, it's just as simple as that, but you also want to take some time off the clock. But I think more than anything else, you have to get your offense back, and Arbaugh's played well. It's just Arico, he's got to be, better ball security, and Griffin's got to have better ball security than that.
Well, and that's what Kalamazoo Central, that's what we talked about when they punted the ball. They're going to be going for the turnover now.
They are. They're going to be going with the Charles Tillman peanut punch.
Right. Yeah. So Griffin's back to receive, so it was just a little stinger on the shoulder. It wouldn't surprise me if they onside kicked it here.
No, but it doesn't look like they have the formation to whatever. There's not a lot of guys down there. I think they're going to just be content to pin them deep and hope that their offense can muster something for the first time all day. And they're going to kick it short, though.
They did.
And they're going to give it to Arico, and Arico, right after the fumble, is going to have a chance to make something happen here.
He cuts it right up the middle.
And he's on his horse, and that's how you make up for a fumble, folks.
That's exactly how you make up for it.
That's a heck of a return there in Saline. They needed good field position. They need a good field position, and that's exactly what they got. And it's going to be interesting to see who they put in at left guard now. We've had St. Lawrence, we've had Fair, and we've had Schultz. And in all of my time, when I played for Saline, we really never rotated in a lot of offense. We did a little bit my freshman year when we had Alex Brownlee, Brandon Brown, Tyler Schran, who were all rotating in at guard. But since then, there really hasn't been a lot. We had a little bit of Luke Ayers and Alex Lampman, but it was mostly Lampman. I think it's just, for the kind of the consistency, Saline really likes to, kind of have those same 5 out there, because you really build a rapport with the line, just like, to a lesser extent, the defensive line.
Getting the handoff to Monday. Follows his blockers, pushes forward inside the 35 to about the 34-yard line. Pick him about 9.
Yep. And now you're Saline. You have good field position. This is when you really start going slow. You really start going slow here, because, 1 yard in there, whatever. They can take this under 8 minutes and snap it. But regardless of the outcome of the game, if Saline is able to score it here, they are going to win. But you get the feeling that they could have won by so much more. You know what I mean?
Definitely.
You do.
Like I said, it has been sloppy since the end of the first half. Again, Monday, wait for his blockers. Another nice, strong run inside the 25-yard line to the 23.
Well, he's taken it upon himself. He's taken it upon himself as a senior. This is how he wants to remember his first playoff win ever. It's a lot easier to remember the bad in football than the good.
Yes.
It just is. That's how humans are. Huron just scored for the ladies field hockey team to take a 1-0 lead in the state championship game with that in the second half there. Arbaugh gets the snap.
To Hayden Scott.
Another solid run.
Nice run.
And now you're seeing the offensive line starting to gel. And this is what they were doing.
Right.
This is what they were doing. This is exactly what they need to do. Respond to all the adversity that they've had. It's easy to hang your head after a kind of a gut punch, fumble return for a touchdown like that. But, clock's just really becoming a factor here, too. And I think Polka knows that you want to get your offense in rhythm, but you securing the win's more important than anything else at this point. Monday tries to hit the outside. He's going to be down. That's a good job of following his blocks. He went all the way to the other sideline and fell forward for the first down, and Saline's going to have it at about the 9-yard line. It's going to be first
Brighton
and goal
just
for
turned the
the
ball
Hornets.
over on an interception, so East Kentwood has the ball back ahead 31-28 with 2 minutes remaining in the third quarter.
And Scott falls forward.
And it's Monday again.
Does a good job falling forward for about 3 yards.
Yep.
Second, and they're going to give him 5 yards.
Yeah.
So did a good job.
Second and goal from just outside the 5-yard line with 6:44 remaining here in the contest. And I think that's what you're going to see. They're going to try and pound it home.
They're going to try and pound it home and then, try to – because, I mean, if they do score a touchdown, here it is. It is for all intents and purposes over. And regardless, I mean – you can complain about how they won all you want. Obviously, the coaches will. That's a touchdown, second rushing touchdown of the game for Saline. But at the end of the day, folks, these are playoff games. And any time you can win a playoff game, it's an accomplishment.
It is.
Whether you win by 1 or whether you win by 30. And that's what Polka used to always tell us in the locker room was you have to win by 1. It counts for the exact same thing. And regardless of, they're still winning by 20 points. So, I mean, it's still been a sizable – and there's a lot of positives to take away. That first half they were very, very good. And there's a lot, but, they're going to have to work on that third quarter stuff. And I know that's something they know. Monday with the kick – or Turner, excuse me.
And it's good. And it makes it 26-7 with 6:22 remaining. Well, just look at – even though we can't see it, there were 56 points scored in the first half of the Brighton East Kentwood game.
So
there's been 3 in the third quarter with 2 minutes remaining.
Well, they've had the opposite problem. Our defense has been great. Our offense has been shaky. Their defense, both of their teams' defense, have done absolutely nothing.
Right.
But that's gonna, and they'll learn from this and they'll get better. But definitely that touchdown definitely makes things a little bit sweeter because they ran the ball and they pounded it down their throat and pretty much salted the game away. Being down, I mean, it's a 3-possession game again, which is really important. And there's only 6 minutes to go here till the conclusion of this one.
And this will make, if we can keep Kalamazoo out of the end zone, this will be the 5th consecutive game where we've let up no more than 1 touchdown.
Which is phenomenal, absolutely. Right. And that's a testament to the defense.
It is. And in actuality, the defense didn't give it up because it was on a fumble
recovery. Yep. Conan's going to go back out there. Gammo. So it's been Coden, Baldus, and Saban who have been right there.
This is where you'd like to see Danny Sislo get in, the senior animal,
Oh,
so,
yeah.
Reminds me a lot of you. So. But let's hope that the Saline girls can tie up that score and prevail in the state finals at field hockey. They've been number 1 all year, but excellent squad. Some strong senior leadership out there.
The
with
Riley sisters.
Yeah. Hannah Jarvie committed to go to Michigan State. One of the Riley sisters is committed to go to Michigan State. The other one's committed to go to Michigan. So they've got a lot of talent on that team.
Correct, they do. Yep. So Big Ten. Well, and their mother, Sharon, was she played for USA Hockey for a little bit, USA Field Hockey. So she's been quite. I don't know if he got out of bounds. I guess they are going to give him out of bounds. I thought Griffin shoved him out of bounds, but now Saban's going to check in here in Conan, and Conan's got to run off the field a little bit more than that. Just kind of did.
Well, the officials over the ball, so they're talking about something here.
I don't know whether to roll the clock or not, because I think the question is, when he got shoved, was he out of bounds?
Yeah, they are starting. No, they did not start it. So
Saban to check in. Saban's back in. So Gammo, Ashby, and Wisniewski haven't.
Goodwin back to pass.
He's under pressure.
Cuts it up,
again.
though. And he gets a big play out of it.
Well, and you're seeing Saline play deep coverage. They're not. I mean, they're trying to keep everything in front of them. They're trying not to allow the quick strike. But that's a good. And those are the plays that East Kentwood's going to make.
Yep.
Those are the plays that East Kentwood's going to make that Saline's got to be able to limit.
Well, I also wonder if against an East Kentwood or a Brighton or whoever we end up playing further in the playoffs, where we'll have the wholesale send the farm on those type of plays because you leave the middle open.
You do. Well, they only sent 4 on that play, and he was wide open. So, and Gammo with another tackle there, going to be about gain of 3 yards, and you're just. I think the question I posed earlier kind of answered itself. I just don't think they have anything in the playbook that addresses these really quick scoring. Like like Canton. Canton was always the team that they like to take 7 minutes off the clock, score a touchdown, and then grind it out on defense. I mean, they were never the quick scoring, whatever. And that's what happens when you run the wing T. Is it's a hard thing to stop. It's kind of like Air Force. Air Force is not a quick scoring football team.
A deep pass into double coverage, ball's underthrown, and that pass interference. And it's a tough play for the D back there. The ball was underthrown.
And you got to and he got his head around.
He did. They both did.
Kinda...
They just collided. I think that was more incidental contact than anything, but the ref didn't see it that way, and we're going to get 15 yards on that. And
at least it's not a spot foul.
Yep. And it is now the start of the fourth quarter, and it's still 31-28 East Kentwood over in East Kentwood.
Saline now, and now it's going to be, and this is the first time they've really moved the ball quite well. I mean, because as you guys saw, their only score is a result of a fumble recovery for a touchdown, and now they have the ball at Saline's 32-yard line. First down to go with 5 minutes left here in the fourth quarter, and they're going to run it, and missed assignment.
Misses, and
that
sack,
kills them.
But running back went on the wrong side, or the quarterback turned the wrong way. One of the two.
Yeah, they did, and that's kind of been the story of the day. They have had quite a few missed assignments. Saban's going to check out, and I think they're going to go with the 3 front again. And maybe this is a look you see next week. They're trying to. I think they saw how that quarterback run by Goodwin affected them, so they're trying to keep 3 down linemen, and they're trying to have more people kind of patrolling the perimeter and more people patrolling the middles. Gamble now is going to be the nose guard, and Wisniewski and Ashby check out the 7 techs. They're almost 5.
Hand off to Lewis. He eludes a tackler, but he can't get away from Connor Terrick, who pushes him out of bounds at about the 28-yard line.
I do think he got out of bounds, though, which will stop the clock at least momentarily. That's a good job by him knowing the clock situation that they're in. You'll see a lot of – you see this even in the NFL, where you'll see guys – 30, 35 seconds left. They have an opportunity to get another 5 yards, but they'll cut back toward the middle of the field and in the process burn valuable time.
Right. So we got 3rd and 5 here at the 27-yard line.
And, of course, this is 4 down territory, and they run it.
To Lewis again. And he's going to be just short of the first down.
He didn't get it by he wasn't –
He couldn't bend forward. Ashby hit him and didn't allow him to fall forward.
4th and 1 now, but the clock continues to roll as we're under 4 minutes. Yeah. And that's going to be about all she wrote. Not enough time left for Kalamazoo Central, I don't think.
Well, give them credit. Hadn't been in the playoffs in 14 years. They haven't stopped.
They've showed a lot of resilience. Yep. You're right. They played a lot better in the second half than they did in the first half. And at least, you want to get your seniors to go out on the – boy, I think he got it.
They're going to be close. They're going to measure.
I think he's close. I think he fell forward, but I also thought that first down here by Monday was clear as can be. So I don't know.
Because if you look at Kalamazoo Central, and I don't care if it's a defensive touchdown, they played Saline so far 7-7 here in the second half.
They have.
So, but they are going to measure.
That's the thing with football, though. It's a 4-quarter game. It's not a 1-half game, and that makes all the difference in the world.
Right. And if you're Saline, you had a stretch where you didn't play well, but you were fortunate to have a 19-point lead.
And he got it by the tip of the football. Yeah, that's well, I mean,
it was close.
It was close. It's not. It's going to. They're going to. If they're running it, they're going to continue to melt the clock here. So not a big deal.
I just think the defense would like to get a shutout in the sense of not allowing an offensive touchdown. They would, but I also think that they want to get out of here healthy because you started to see some nicks and bruises. Nothing that's going to keep anybody out next week, but you saw, Grippin limping off. You saw Jones, the Hornets' right tackle, and you even see Klamega cramping up, so he's stretching out on the sideline. And then you got number 3 for them, Wimper in motion, and he's got hit. And there's that was up and another pass
flag.
interference. I just don't see that.
No, neither do I. Neither do
They
I.
were all going for the ball. They were clearly going for the ball. They
It
have
was
a
under
right
throat.
to the
You
ball.
can say it was it was
It's like a Hail Mary. But
and Polka thinks the ball was tipped, but I think the referees are saying that the infraction occurred before the ball was tipped. But,
I don't know if they know. But
well, they've not. I mean, they've not had a very good game. You know, flat. It's been a rough game for the officials, but you know, at the same time, it's not going to affect the overall outcome of the game, which is the important thing.
That's great.
Well, on the bright side, Saline's red zone defense gets much needed practice because they haven't had a lot of red zone, you know, live tape to watch in the last several games here. And he's
Lewis.
And he's in bounds. He's got to get out of bounds right there. You know, he's got to get out of bounds. You know.
Well, if the game were closer, yes, he needs to know where he's at. And but with 3 minutes remaining and needing 3 scores,
I get what you're saying. I get what you're saying.
He's just trying to score. He's trying to get into the end zone.
Say I scored in the playoffs.
You betcha. Against a very good Saline team, who's ranked in the top 10 in the state.
I think they came in, what? They were 8th, I think?
They were 8th.
Yeah. Brighton was ahead of them.
No, East Kentwood was ahead of them. Brighton was behind
9.
them.
I think Brighton was 9 and East Kentwood was 7. I get those two mixed up, yeah.
Hand off to Lewis. He's bottled up in the backfield and will get nothing. He gets out to the back to the line of scrimmage.
And see, so this is Saline's defense. They do not want to allow them to score, and they have penetrated and executed their game assignments very, very well their last 2 plays as we approach 3rd and 5 here. And I'd be surprised if this ball is not snapped before we get under 2 minutes to go here. 23 seconds now on the play clock. And as we approach 3rd and 5, I believe they're going to snap it right at about 2 minutes. And they do. The ball's
off
won.
to Baldwin.
And he did not get it.
He did not get it.
That's a good job by Tarek, who was right there.
It was Blanchard, actually. Jaden Blanchard. I called him Baldwin. It's Blanchard. He's had a good game, actually.
He has had a solid game. And, you know, you're not seeing them using hardly any timeouts or anything. I think they kind of know the inevitable, too, that Saline folks will move to 9-1 on the year. That nine-game winning streak after that opening heartbreaking season loss at Chippewa Valley at home, 31-26, and they will await the winner of East Kentwood and Brighton, and that will be at home. If it's Brighton, it will be on Friday night. If it's Kentwood, it will most likely be on Saturday afternoon.
So 4th down, hand to.
Oh, he did not get it. He did not get it.
Ball will go over on downs.
You got to give it to Saline here, and
held him out of the end zone.
That's how you end a game, though. That is how you end a game and come off strong. And Saline's going to take a knee here and milk this one home.
So with 9 minutes remaining in the Brighton East Kentwood game, it is still East Kentwood leading by 3. They have the 3rd and 9 at their own 30-yard line. So Brighton's hoping to hold them and get the ball back and tie or go ahead. For those of you who are interested in college football, Michigan State was leading Purdue by 3. Northwestern is destroying Wisconsin in that Big Ten race.
Boy, Wisconsin is,
Well, they didn't have Honeybrooke today.
They did, that's true.
And
they just haven't looked the same, you know.
Here comes this Monday. Gets it out of the shadow. Now they're going to take the victory formation.
They are. They just wanted to make sure they didn't fumble the snap or anything like that. And now they got plenty of time, plenty of room. And Saline, 1 minute away, you see, starting to high-five, and they will advance to the district finals. And that's something we've seen all too much of Saline. They're used to playing in the playoffs, and it's nice.
We haven't seen enough of it. We see more of it.
I know. No, I'm saying in terms of like the last several years. I mean, before the Canton game, we went really far and then lost to Cass Tech 42-43. The year before that, we lost to Canton, but we beat Pioneer and we beat somebody else, I think, too.
That was Scott on the carry.
But now you're going to get some of the other guys to check it. Number 85 for
Luke
the
Dramos.
Hornets. Luke Darmos, number 11 for the younger sister, the Olivia Darmos, who was a really good softball player here.
And he takes a knee.
Arbaugh, and that will just about do it. I don't think they're going to have to snap the ball. And that is it, folks. Saline proves to 9-1 on the year, ends the Kalamazoo Central Maroon Giants season. The Giants fall to 6-4 on the year. Saline improves to 9-1, and they will await the winner of Belleville and East Kentwood, or Brighton and East Kentwood, excuse me. And as always, folks, I am Nathan Stearns, and we will be back next Saturday at Hornet Stadium, or next Friday or Saturday.
Make sure you come out. If you can't, come listen to it. And I'm Mitch Gashi. Goodbye, everybody.